Okay, here we go,
There we
guys.
go.
I am so honored to get this thing rocking, and I have to let you know that when they decided, they said, "Let's. This is going to be a big show tonight. Let's ask the person who is the best looking to do this meeting." And so they got turned down, which was kind of weird. So then they went to another agent. They said, "Hey, let's talk to the guy who's the best speaker, most eloquent, has the greatest jokes, can connect with the audience." Again, they got turned down. So finally, they said, let's just ask the agent who's making the most money and helping the most families. And honestly, guys, I did not have the heart to turn him down 3 times in a row. I'm just kidding. That's a terrible joke, isn't it, Billy? Although Billy's laughing. Guys, it is my honor tonight. I get to introduce our guest speaker tonight. I'm so excited. Wherever you are around the country watching us on Zoom, I hope you will just let your guard down for a few minutes, right? Like a parachute doesn't work if it's not open. Let your mind be open. Let your guard down, let your parachute be open. And why not just look at this thing with like open mind? Just give it a few minutes and think, what if this works? What if what this guy is saying really works? Can it? Listen, I found this guy, Alex, years ago. I was stuck in a rut. I had all the degrees, all the education, great background, beautiful wife, family. Everything was going great on the outside. But on the inside, I don't know if you can relate. I was living a life of quiet desperation. I did not know what I wanted. And then someone introduced me to this guy, and he changed my whole life. I'm talking about every aspect of my life. I hope you will give him a few minutes of your time and open your mind and just try to put the distractions away. If you got the TV on in the background, don't scroll through your texts. Just listen to him for a few minutes and see what he's got to share. He can change your life too. He's got a huge, thriving business, has helped agents in all 50 states. He's making a ton of money by helping thousands of clients on a monthly basis. And he's a dear friend of mine. I hope you will help me welcome. Get on your feet. Just kidding. For my friend, Alex Abian.
Oh, wow. I need to have a hype man like that all the time. Thank you,
Woo!
Patrick. That was pretty cool. You read it exactly the way I wrote it, and I appreciate that. All right, all right, all right. How's everyone doing out there? I'm fired up. I'm so excited about to share with you what we got going on. Why don't you do this? Why don't you guys are you guys ready to go? Like type a one in the message in the chat box. Let me know that you're ready to go. Let's see those ones. Let me know that you're not sleeping. We got one person. There we go. Wow, that's cool. I like seeing that, man. This is audience participation. I really am so fired up to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity to share with you what is going on in the industry. It's really incredible. And so we're going to go ahead and get this party started. Let me share my little screen here. All right, gang, it's my honor to share with you what all is going down. I've been in business 26 years, and really, I've never seen anything like this, what's been going on in the insurance business. It's quite profound. You know, tonight, I want to talk to you about a revolution, okay? Not a theory, not a trend, not hype, literally a revolution. And it's happening inside one of the oldest, most stable, most overlooked industries in America, life insurance. Look at what happened everywhere in the marketplace. You got retail. It was transformed by e-commerce, Amazon, right? Banking was transformed by mobile and online access. Media was transformed by streaming. Transportation was transformed by ride-sharing apps and automation. Every major industry was touched by technology, and every one of them was reshaped by speed, scale, and accessibility. And in every one of those shifts, there were people who saw it early, right? And people who saw it late. And the people who saw it early built leverage, they built freedom, they built wealth. But there is one industry that stayed rooted in the old way far longer than anyone expected: life insurance. And that's why this moment matters so much. Because when the final major industry begins to transform, it doesn't create a little opportunity, it creates a wave. And the people who recognize the wave early don't just change their income, they change the trajectory of their lives. For years, life insurance was defined by what it had always been: manual, paper heavy, slow, face to face, old school. Yeah, it was stable, respected, yes, necessary, absolutely, but it wasn't fast. It wasn't flexible. It wasn't built for the world we live in now. And then something shifted. Digital tools began to remove the friction. Applications became easier. Client communications became faster. Underwriting became more streamlined. The entire process began to move with more speed, more precision, and more convenience. So now we're standing in a rare moment. An industry that has always been powerful is finally becoming efficient. And when power meets efficiency, everything changes. The traditional life insurance model was built for a totally different era. It was it meant driving across town or driving to another town. Remember those days, Patrick, right? Sitting in living rooms for hours, spending 4 or 5 hours to maybe close one sale, maybe two. It was time intensive, it was physically demanding, and it was hard to scale. And if you were a parent, if you needed flexibility, if you wanted to work from home, it often didn't even feel like an option. The old model didn't just slow the business down, it kept a lot of talented people out of the business altogether. People who could have succeeded, people who cared deeply about families, people who are hungry, people who are coachable, people who had everything it takes except the ability to spend their life on the road. That old model served its time, but its time is ending. Today, we're living in a completely different reality. No exam options, digital applications, phone consultations, a process that can move in minutes instead of hours. That changes everything. Now, an agent can sit in their home office or at a kitchen table or in the room next to where their kids are doing schoolwork, and they can help families with a process that's faster, cleaner, and more scalable than ever before. That means this profession is no longer reserved for one type of person. Now it opens up to the professional who's done trading time for money, the parent who wants to stay present and still earn, the person who is sick of building somebody else's dream, the stay-at-home mom who knows she is capable of so much more than the world has made room for her lately. That's the beauty of a digital revolution. It doesn't just improve processes, it expands possibility. So here's a question that sits underneath this whole presentation. What happens when stability meets scale? What happens when an industry that never goes away suddenly becomes easier to access, easier to explain, easier to sell, and easier to build in? That is not a small question, because stability without scale can feel limited. Scale without stability can feel dangerous. But when you bring both together, stability and scalability, man, you create something rare. You create an opportunity that can be both dependable and explosive. And those are the moments that change people's lives. Now, one of the reasons I'm so passionate about this is because financial services has quietly created more wealth for more people than most industries ever will. And inside financial services, life insurance has been one of the great engines of wealth creation. Why? Because this product solves a real problem. It protects real families. It meets a permanent need. It matters in every economy, every city, every season of life. See, we live in a world obsessed with hype. Everybody wants the next shiny thing, the next shortcut, the next quick explosion, the next thing that they can brag about before they even understand it. But most real wealth is not built on hype. It's built on fundamentals. It's built on stability. It's built on service. It's built on markets that endure. And that is one of the reasons this opportunity stands out so clearly. We're not chasing noise here, gang. We're not betting on a trend. We're not hoping the algorithm blesses us this month. We are planting ourselves in an industry that has been here, will still be here, and now for the first time at this scale can be built digitally. And that's not hype. That is timing, right? Now, look, this formula is simple, but it's profound. Stability plus scalability equals unprecedented opportunity. That's it. Stability means you can trust the foundation. Scalability means your effort can multiply. When those two things come together, something shifts inside you. You stop looking at this like a job. You start seeing it as a vehicle to build income, a vehicle to build freedom, a vehicle to build a life that no longer depends on permission from a boss, a schedule, or a paycheck capped by someone else's opinion of your worth. That is the formula. And for the people who really see it, it becomes impossible to unsee. One of the reasons this moment is so exciting is because it's not happening in isolation. There is real infrastructure behind it, real leadership behind it, real scale behind it. Abuyuan Financial, the alliance, and the integrity represents strength, partnership, training systems, access, technology, and a level of support that gives this business serious credibility. This is not somebody trying to figure it out in a garage or a basement. This is a real ecosystem, an ecosystem built to help agents serve families, grow teams, build businesses, and do it with the backing that most people in this profession never had access to before. As you watch this, I'm going to play this video. I want you to feel the weight of this truth. When vision is connected to infrastructure, ordinary people can do extraordinary things. We are Abuyuan Financial out of Dayton, Ohio, and we offer life and health products. I think what makes Abuyuan Financial unique is that we really focus on perseverance and faith.
We attract people who are like-minded and have that same foundation.
And it's really what drives me. In the insurance business, we put the right players together, we touch lives, and that's exactly the same analogy as a band. We're proud to announce that Abuyuan Financial is partnering with Integrity.
Abuyuan Financial has a real heart for service. They don't just teach people how to sell, they teach people how to serve and lead with character and build a meaningful life.
We've been with Andy and Jane Albright for years and years and years, and once we saw them partner with Integrity, we saw that as something that we could also accomplish.
Our relationship goes back over 30 years, which is way before insurance. It's been so fun watching them grow. They make a great couple. They love to make a difference. And of course, they're all into music.
I think Integrity is the road manager for us. They promote us. We get out there and we reach the people. The technology resources they have are second to none. And we're so excited to bring our agents on to teach them these technology platforms so they can sell more insurance, be more efficient. That's what they offer us, the ability to scale our business without any limit.
We really do care for our agents and really support them in their goals and what they're looking to accomplish.
With access to Integrity Connect, Alex and Jenny's team can grow faster and serve even more families across the country.
We've already had agents really expanding their businesses and their horizons. Integrity offers tools and technology that are really raising our business to the next level.
They're going to gain more and more energy, more intelligence, not to mention all the technology that Integrity brings to the table. It's going to be exciting.
At Integrity, we're building a movement of people who care, serve, and lead with integrity. And ABN Financial fits that vision perfectly, and we look forward to serving more families together.
I'm excited for the future. I'm excited to see where we go from here.
Partnering with Integrity is like being part of an awesome world-class band. I don't know how anyone can beat us. Really, the only way that anyone can beat us is we beat ourselves. We don't realize what this opportunity can produce. I love it when Andy says gain more intelligence. I am like fired up because I need to be more intelligent. All right, man. So let's look at what makes ABN Financial special. And it's really not just the opportunity, really it's the culture. We are service first. That means we care about people. We care about doing things the right way. We care about trust. We care about helping families make wise decisions, not just fast decisions. We care about personal development because we know that building a great business starts with becoming a stronger person, stronger in communication, stronger in leadership, stronger in confidence, stronger in character. We believe in team. Really, that's just a euphemism for me for family, right? A real team, a real family, not just a slogan, a place where people are supported, sharpened, encouraged, and developed. And we believe in freedom, baby, not freedom as a buzzword, freedom as a real life outcome, freedom to be present, freedom to earn, freedom to build, man, freedom to live. This model wins because three major forces are all moving in the same direction. See, technology is making the process faster and smoother, right? The customer journey it's getting better, simpler, easier, more accessible, and the market remains massive, broad, underserved, still full of people who need protection and have not yet been properly served. That means better tools, better experience, bigger market. And when all three of those line up at the same time, you don't just get improvement, you get acceleration. That is what we are seeing here. Not a tweak, not a minor upgrade, acceleration. In any sales environment, one truth never changes, right? In the old model, if the old model gave you 40 presentations a month, and the new model gives you 200, 250, even 300, that's not a small difference. That's a whole different life because more conversations create more confidence. More confidence creates more skill. More skill creates better results. Same person, different model, different outcome. This is one of the reasons I get so excited about this business because digital efficiency gives great people more at-bats. And when great people get more at-bats, baby, they win bigger. Now, let's talk about why this business can create such a meaningful financial change. There is income from helping families now. There is renewal income that begins to create more stability over time. And for those who want to lead, there's the opportunity to build and receive overrides through team growth. So this is not just one stream of income. It can be layers and layers of income. Income from your own personal production, income that continues as your book matures, and income that grows as your leadership grows. And that matters because most people are living on one fragile stream, one paycheck, one employer, one source. This model opens the door to something more resilient, something more expandable, something more free. Now, this is one of the most beautiful parts of this model. I get all jacked up when I talk about it. In most jobs, your effort disappears at the end of the pay period. You work, you get paid, you start over again and again and again. But in a model with compounding income, your previous work can continue to support your future. That means your month is not only about what you did this week, it can also include what you built last month, last quarter, last year, 10 years ago. That is a very different feeling. That is when you stop feeling like a hamster on a wheel. That is when you begin to feel momentum. That is when work starts turning into structure. Structure starts turning into income. Income starts turning into freedom. That's the power of compounding. Now, for some people, selling personally will change everything. And that's enough for them. But for others, there's another calling to build, to coach, to lead, to multiply. And that's when team building becomes so powerful, because now this stops being just about what you can produce with your own hands. Now it becomes about what you can do to help other people become. You can help a father come home. You could help a mother earn again. You could help a burned out professional finally get breathing room. You can help a young person discover a path that they never knew existed. That is legacy, not just income, legacy. Now, one of the first things people wonder is, okay, but where do the clients come from? That's the right question, because the business only becomes real when there's a real path to real people. See, our model is centered around connecting with individuals who've already shown interest, people looking, people searching, people raising their hand. That changes the conversation. We're not forcing awkward appointments on family members. We're not chasing random strangers with no context. We're not trying to talk someone into caring about something they never asked about. Remember Groundhog's Day, Ned Ryerson? That is not us, okay? We are stepping into conversations with people who already need help. And when you combine interested prospects with a strong system, real training, this becomes a business that you can actually build. This is where emotion has to meet discipline. Because once you understand lead economics, you stop seeing growth as luck and start seeing it as math. Leads are not the point. Results are the point. The point is to take attention, convert it into conversations, convert conversations into applications, and convert applications into issued business. That is the engine. And when someone understands that engine, they begin to stop making fearful decisions and start making business decisions. That shift matters, because if you want a business that can scale, you have to learn how to think like an owner, not just a participant. Now, this slide is about possibility through progression. See, as your skills improve, your confidence rises. As your confidence rises, your conversations get stronger. As your conversations get stronger, your results can improve. And as your results improve, you can reinvest and scale again. That's how the business grows, right? So you invest $250 in leads. That's like 250 leads, 250 people that filled out a form online saying, hey, I think I'm interested in life insurance. Some fill it out just because they like to fill things out online. But then there are people out of the 250 that I need to get this. I need to talk to someone about it. There's an urgency there. All you do is reach out to find who's serious. And you think you can make 2 sales out of 250 people who raised their hand online and said, how about me? Your job is to uncover them. You know, like at the fair, the carnival, you go to the ducks in the little pool and you turn it over to see if you found a winner. That's all you're doing. These are people interested. And when you take care of them, take care of a couple people, you make $1,000. Now, we're not saying that you throw that $1,000 and start paying all your bills. Why don't you do this? Why don't you reinvest that 1,000, or how about 250 in the next week? And then you start getting better. And then you make 2,000 because you made 4 sales out of 250 leads, right? Week 3, you reinvest, you get better. You're making, well, not that much better because you're making 2 sales. Like, we're cutting you some slack here, all right? Week 4, same thing. Now, that first month of you learning, you ramping up, you going through all the leads, you spent $1,000, but you earned 7,000, so you netted 6,000. Now you up your game, right? Why don't you double down because you made $6,000? Why don't you decide, you know what, I'm going to take $2,000 of that and put $500 a week towards leads. Let's see if I can double down. Here's the power of doubling down, is because your acceleration and your skill level goes faster. Your confidence goes up more, and you start closing more sales because you're better. You become better. And now the next month, after you've doubled down and invested more, now you're investing $2,000, but you're making $20,000, and then net $18,000. Now look, it's not one giant leap, but it happens in layers, in learning, in repetition, in momentum. Now, I want to be clear about this. These are examples, not promises. Nobody is guaranteed a result. This depends on your work ethic, your communication, your consistency, your coachability. But we have people doing this. We have people doing better than this. But what should inspire you is not a fantasy. It is the fact that there is a real model here, a model that allows growth to build on growth. And that is huge. Now imagine this. You're producing personally, and you're also helping 6 other people do what you've learned to do. Look, if you can do it, you can teach it. But here's the beauty of this. You don't have to teach it, because we're going to teach it to your team, right? And this is where your life changes again, because now your business is no longer limited by your own calendar. Now your leadership begins to create what we call leverage. So when you look at an example like this, what you're really seeing is the power of multiplication. This is what happens when effort becomes influence, when influence becomes leadership, when leadership becomes scale. And for the right person, that is the moment when this stops feeling like a side opportunity and starts feeling like a platform to create freedom. Now, one of the things I love most about this business today is how clean the workflow can be. The client onboarding is faster. The application process is guided and paperless. Policy issuance is more streamlined. That means less friction for the family and less wasted motion for you, the agent. And simplicity matters, because the simpler a system is, the easier it is to learn. The easier it is to learn, the faster people can get moving. The faster they can get moving, the sooner they can start building confidence. That is what good technology should do. It should remove obstacles and create momentum. Now, the beauty of this model is that we are not trying to sell something strange or complicated, right? We are working with trusted, recognized carriers and proven products that families already need. And these carriers have been around, for some of them, for hundreds of years. We are not reinventing the product. We are improving the delivery. That matters, because when a meaningful product becomes easier to access, easier to understand, and easier to implement, more families get served and more agents can succeed. As you watch the technology flow, just let yourself feel how different this is from the old world. This is what transformation looks like in real life. So let's say, hey, I want to get some leads. I want to go sell to some clients. So you go to Integrity Connect, get into the lead platform, right? I want to get life insurance leads. All right. And let's pick a category. How about we pick internet leads, and let's go find where I want to sell. Look at the heat map. Where there's red, there's opportunity. So let's look at Georgia. I've got a Georgia non-resident license. Let's see who I can serve in Georgia. Let's look at the different lead programs available. $7 lead, $5 lead, $12 lead. Every lead works, right? So let's purchase it, stick it on my American Express, right? Let's check out. Boom, it's done. Bought my leads. Now let's access those leads. Let's go to client management, and boom, there they are. There they are, the leads. Catch up. So let's take care of this woman, Adrienne Harrison. Let's talk to her. Let's find out what she needs. She wants final expense insurance. She gives us her health information. So we put in her height and weight. Come on, Mary, hurry up. Weight, non-tobacco. Next. Health conditions. What health conditions? So now we know that she's got hypothyroidism. Boom. There you go. Hypothyroidism. Let's see who can cover her, and let's see how much the quotes are going to be. Check this out. So let's say she wanted $10,000. Now we have all the carriers that can cover her and the premiums that they're offering her. We just pick one. We love Transamerica because they issue really quickly, and we click a button and boom, we're right into the Transamerica application. And we're working with the client. They're giving us their information, their social security number, their beneficiaries, everything that we need to get them an application processed. It's incredible. What you just saw here, gang, is the revolution right before your eyes of being able to take care of a client in real time. And in many cases, the policy will get issued in minutes. When you're done with a client, you'll find out that the policy just got issued, which means you're getting paid next week $500, $750 on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, because we pay 3 times a week. That's the beauty of scalability. That's the beauty of the digital revolution, because it can happen fast. You're not sitting in someone's home, kneecap to kneecap, looking at their pictures. Wow, that's a beautiful picture of your family. And I love the Dixie flag on your pickup truck out there with your gun rack. There are counties here in Ohio that there are those people. Nothing against any of y'all that have the flag of Dixie on your pickup truck. Okay, hopefully I didn't offend anyone. Anyway, let's move on. One of the most attractive parts of this model is that it can begin where you are. Now, for some people, it starts part-time, like it did for me. You know, if you've got time in the daytime or evenings or weekends, focused hours around your existing schedule. So if you're a stay-at-home mom, you're homeschooling your children, you can work this around that. So when you can work this around your schedule, then your confidence builds, the skills build, the income builds, and eventually, for some people, it becomes the thing that replaces the old thing, the job, right? The ceiling, the commute, the exhaustion, the life that no longer fits who they are becoming. And stories like I'm going to show you, Megan's, matter because they remind us that transformation is real, not easy, not automatic, but real. A different future is available for people willing to work, learn, and stay in motion.
I'm Megan Wood. I'm from Crawfordsville, Indiana. I currently live in Lafayette, Indiana. I was a waitress and a bartender for 13 years at Applebee's before I started this. From the age of 17 is when I started at Applebee's. So I'm a single mom. I got a little boy. He's going to turn 7 tomorrow. But the Alliance has just changed my life. I mean, I went from making $30,000 a year at Applebee's to last year we made $600,000, and this year we're going to make $1 million. So I'm super fired up about that, just the changes it's done to my life and my son's life. So we're very, very blessed to be here. So it wasn't easy. But having the mindset of have to and not just want to, it changes your perspective on things. I have a little boy, so it's like I have to make this work, and I'm gonna find a way to make this work. Constantly obsessing about how I can change to get better and better to get me to where I am now. I went into high school, I was making C's and D's in school, was not applying myself. I didn't really care. I just wanted to get out of there as fast as I possibly could because I was making great money at Applebee's. Yeah, I started very, very part-time. I was working 1 weekend a month, and I had replaced my Applebee's income working 1 weekend a month. My first year, I was very, very part-time. My second year, I went full-time.
And you've been with us how long?
This will be my 4th year full-time. Just don't stop. People quit when it gets hard, and it's always hard your first week or your first 2 weeks, and that's when people quit. And I think it's almost like a test, like you're being tested to see if you can get through the first week and the second week, and then it just gets easier. So the difference between successful people, they're the ones that didn't quit when it got hard. So I think that's the best advice I can get, is just I didn't quit. That's why I am where I am.
Awesome. Thank you. And here's what's crazy about what Megan did is now she has residuals of $300,000 a year coming in. Before she makes one sale in 2026, in January, she already has $300,000 of residual income coming in this year. So she's actually kind of sat back a little bit, enjoying her life. She doesn't have to write as much business anymore, but all that effort that she took in building up her book of business has created some insane renewals. It's insane. Now, here's the part that's deeply personal for me. So that's a picture of my family, and that's a picture in November of 1999 when I got into the business. It was like, this picture was like right before I think I got my life insurance license. So this picture is an accurate depiction of my family. 3 young kids, my wife, and I had to really start on a part-time basis. See, there was a season in my life where on paper, things looked fine. I was making money, 6 figures, $150,000 a year. I was producing for my family. I was achieving. But deep down, I knew something was off. I was earning, but I wasn't present. I was providing, but I wasn't fully there. I was building, but I was missing pieces of the life I was supposedly building for. And that tension started to get loud, because there comes a point where success stops feeling successful if it is costing you the moments that matter the most. What I was really searching for was not just another way to make money. I was searching for a better model of life. And when I found this, even part-time at first, it cracked something open in me. It showed me that there was another path, a path where I did not have to choose between income and presence. And once I saw that, I knew I could never keep that to myself. See, at the end of the day, this business is about something sacred. It's about protecting futures. It's about making sure that when life changes, and it does, a family is not left financially shattered. It's about peace of mind. It's about dignity. It's about responsibility. It's about love expressed in a practical form. That is why this work matters. Because yes, you can build a business here. Yes, you can build income. Yes, you can build freedom. But you can also build protection for families who need it. And there is something deeply meaningful about earning well while doing something that genuinely serves. I also want to honor the truth. This is a real business, gang. It takes effort. It takes discipline. It takes personal growth. It takes learning how to communicate when you're tired, how to follow through when you don't feel like it, how to keep going when the result is not instant. Gang, this is not magic money. That is exactly what makes it so valuable, because real businesses create real rewards. If you are the kind of person who's willing to do real work for a real future, then this can be one of the most rewarding paths you will ever walk. So who thrives here? Not perfect people, not people with the fanciest backgrounds, not people with some magical advantage nobody else has. The people who thrive here are people who can communicate, people who care, people who are willing to learn, and people who are willing to work. That includes sales professionals. That includes parents returning to the workforce. That includes teachers, nurses, entrepreneurs, builders, leaders, and hungry beginners. If you have heart, discipline, humility, and coachability, there is room for you here. Now, look, when you look at this image, I don't want you to think luxury. I want you to think ownership. I want you to think what it would feel like to have your life back, to decide when you want to work, to decide where you want to work, to decide how your business fits into your family instead of forcing your family to fit around your business. Freedom is not about doing nothing. Freedom is about having a life that belongs to you again. Now, this slide is actually one of my favorites, like my favorite one putting it together for sure, because what it does is it captures what so many people are really longing for, not just income, integration, a way to earn and still be there, a way to build and still be present, a way to contribute financially without sacrificing the very people you are doing it for. This is especially powerful for the stay-at-home mom who knows she is still gifted, still capable, still driven, still valuable, and simply needs a model that honors both her ambition and her calling at home. That is what makes this so compelling. It gives people a way to rise financially without disappearing relationally. Look, gang, this is not just a number. This is a vision. 10,000 families with breathing room. 10,000 families, households with more choice. 10,000 stories of parents being present. 10,000 people no longer trapped in jobs that drain their spirit and cap their future. 10,000 families making six figures or more from home. That is not just a business goal. That's a cultural statement. It says we believe people can build meaningful income without surrendering the life they care about most. It says we believe freedom and family do not have to be enemies. It says we believe this digital revolution can create one of the greatest work from home movements in our industry that our industry has ever seen. So what do you do next? You do not need to have your whole future figured out tonight. You simply need to take the next step. Connect with us. Have the conversation. Look honestly at your life, your goals, your strengths, your season. Explore the training. See the support. Understand the path. And if this resonates with you, begin the licensing process, and we'll guide you through that. And move towards something that could change your future, not someday, but now. Because the hardest part of transformation is not the whole journey, It's the first courageous yes. My challenge to you is simple. Do not just watch this revolution, lead it. Do not be the person who saw the shift, felt the pull, recognized the opportunity, and then let fear, comfort, or delay talk you out of it. Be the one who steps forward. Be the one who gets equipped. Be the one who gets uncomfortable. Be the one who builds. Be the one who helps other people come with you. The future of life insurance is changing right now. And the people who lean in today will help shape what this industry looks like tomorrow. See, I have enough time. I was shooting for 45 minutes. I guess we got a little bit of time. What I want to do is I want to open this up. Ask real questions. Ask honest questions. Ask about the business, the licensing path, the training, the schedule, the support, the leads, the learning curve, the transition from part-time to full-time, whatever is on your mind. Because this is not about pressure, not at all. It's about clarity. And for the right person, clarity can become the beginning of a brand new life. So I'm done, gang. I hope that resonated with you. And so I'll take a few questions. Does anyone have any questions for me? No questions. Maybe there's something good at 9 o'clock Eastern time on TV. No worries. Like, look, if I probably talked your ear off and overwhelmed you, no worries. But I want you to really think about it, right? I want you to think about what I said and what this could mean for you and your family, what this could mean if you're an agent with us, what this can mean for you looking at this business from a whole different perspective. It's like taking an object in the middle of a room and turning it slightly so you see it differently, see it from another side, right? See it for what it is in a different perspective. And I hope that gets you jacked up like me. I'm so excited about this digital revolution. I just hope it resonates with you. So anyway, if there's no questions, man, I hope you have a great evening. I appreciate you. And who wants to, join us on this train? The train's leaving the station. Come on and join us. Jump in. The water's fine. How many more allegories can I use here? Analogies. Hey, Patrick, thank you for introducing me. I appreciate that. You're one of my trusted and best friends. You were there from the beginning, right? You were able to share this journey with me and continue to share it with me. So I appreciate you, man.
Well, I do have a question.
Yeah, please.
Yes, my name's Ashley,
Hi,
and right
Ashley.
now I'm working full time in a call center. I have been doing life insurance in the past. Right now, I'm just trying to see like working evenings. Like, is there any type of curve with calling clients at a
Yeah.
later time
What time zone are you in, Ashley?
in Central Time? So I'll be getting off at 4 o'clock. So I'm
Okay,
thinking about like
awesome.
5 p.m.
Yeah.
Central, calling people around Texas. So
So the beauty about
will
being
that
in
be there?
Central, yeah, the beauty about being in Central Time is you can call people in Texas, you can call people in Colorado, you can call people on Pacific Time in California, you can call people up in Alaska, you can call people in Hawaii, right? I mean, there is no limitations on time zones, right? So to answer your question, it can be as flexible as you need it to be for your situation. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome.
Sounds great.
Yay, someone asked a question. Anybody else? All right, cool.
Alex, there's a question in
Yeah.
the chat.
Oh, there is? Okay. Can,
Yes.
can someone read it to me? What's it say? I'm
I'll
not
read it.
catching it all.
It says, on average, how long does the training period take?
Depends on your experience. Like if you're an experienced life insurance agent, maybe a day or two. If you're not experienced in insurance, but you've done sales before, maybe 3 or 4 days, right? It just depends on how much time you want to spend. The beauty of this thing is, And I was talking to someone who was a teacher actually, and there are like 7 learning styles, and there's 4 major ones that everyone kind of fits into. And we've really modeled our training system for years and years and years under that kind of idea that everyone's different, right? And you talk to any teacher, no teacher teaches their children, the kids in their class, the same way. You can't do that because everyone has their own individual needs. And so what I'm pretty proud of is created a staff and a system where whatever you need, we're going to be able to fulfill how you need to learn. So it can happen quickly. It just depends on the time you want to put into it and how accessible you want to be to the training, right? So what I tell people all the time is, don't be a secret agent. Reach out for help as much as you need to, right? Don't be trying to figure it out. Reach out for help so we can shorten your learning curve. So, if you're brand new to this, and Mary's a great example. She's one of my employees and an assistant. She's done this part-time. She's learned everything from jump. Like she didn't know anything. And she just wanted to just learn how to sell because she was already my recruiting manager. She was my assistant. She did a whole bunch of things for me. So she got the itch to start selling, right, Mary? And then
Yes,
you
sir.
just learned it, right? So
Yeah, I was excited. I just wanted to see if I could do it. And honestly, I just followed our path of our training, which is incredible. And it was just amazing that I've been on the leaderboard consistently every week so far this year, except for the one time I was away. And that's part-time, very
yeah.
part-time.
So Mary is a trusted employee partner. Employee doesn't sound right to me. She's like a trusted partner that has helped me build my business, but most importantly, helps coach our agents. And a lot of people on this call have been coached by Mary, and the reason why they're producing is because what Mary's been able to coach them on. And what's funny is that Mary is like duplicates everything I'm teaching on coaching. So if I ever looked at where I've duplicated myself, I've duplicated myself through Mary, and she's helped all our agents. So, if you need to learn quicker, Mary can help you. Joy is also one of the people that works with me to help our agents with the technology. So we've got a really comprehensive program of people that will do what they need to do to help you get started. The only person preventing you is you, right? There's no limitations on our side. When you look at the person in the mirror, that's who's limiting you or empowering you, right? You can give yourself permission to go for it. And when you do that on faith, you might have some fear, right? But if you keep acting as if you're brave, it's amazing because you will be brave, right? Any other chat questions?
Yes, there was one. It says, can you call all over even though you're only licensed in one state?
You can only call in states that you're licensed in. So it's real easy to get a non-resident license. Usually takes, 3 or 4 days, sometimes a week, depending on, the state that you're in. Some states are harder than others. And some states are cheap, like $10. Others are expensive, like $225 to get a non-resident license. But there's a easy way because that whole process has been digitized that you can get it quickly, right? So it's not that hard. You don't have to take another test. You just fill out paperwork and fill out the form, pay the fee, and then within a week, typically, you'll be approved. So it's pretty easy.
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah. Hey,
So,
Elizabeth.
as far as the software you're using, what software are you using to um, align your leads up in the program altogether?
Yeah. So there's the CRM that Integrity provides for lead management. There's the client CRM for client management that the Alliance has. A lot of our agents will use different CRMs, like lead CRMs to call their leads, to manage their leads. They'll use Go High Level. Like I have a Go High Level agency account that people can use. There's a lot of different things out there. We don't like force anyone into one system or another. A lot of times it's really, now we can make recommendations, right? And, if you're looking for a particular use case, then we probably have a particular CRM that will work for you. But we do have ones that are free, like the lead management in integrity marketing is free. The Alliance CRM for client management is free because that one's great because it notifies you when your clients are turning 65. So you can talk to them about Medicare. It'll notify you when there are birthdays or when they're having birthdays. It'll notify you when it's time to do your annual review. So it's a really great client CRM. As far as the lead CRM, a lot of our agents kind of use other systems to manage their leads. Does that answer your question? Kind of.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. You guys are making it easy on me. All right, cool. Well, we got 3 more minutes. I just want to say thank you to everybody that made the effort to be on here. We're going to do the same presentation, same bat time, same bat channel next week.
If we wanted to join, how are we supposed to follow up with you?
Who invited you, Elizabeth?
I believe it was you. That's
Okay,
what the email came across.
Yes, we
absolutely.
invited her.
So Mary will get in touch with you, Elizabeth, and get you rocking and rolling.
Okay,
All right, cool.
thank you.
Welcome to the team.
I will put my phone number in the chat so everyone has it if they have any questions. And if they got an email from us.
But really, if really go back to the person that invited you, because they're the person that was responsible for opening up the opportunity for you. So, like anybody who invites someone on here, just make sure that you check back with them and see how they are, because we don't want to recruit anybody who is through someone else. We want all of you to get credit for the people that you invite on here. We in no way get in the way of that at all. So, and if we find out, like if we're onboarding someone, we find like it just happened, right, Mary? Adrian Brax had someone call me direct and say, "Hey, I want to get involved with this, the lead program." And I said, oh, "Okay, we'll get you started." And then we discovered that she was under Adrian. So I said, "Hey, let's turn her back to Adrian, let Adrian handle her." Then I found out that Adrian kind of pointed her to me. So it's so confused, right? I get a call and, I love it though. I love it. But we always route people back to where they're supposed to be. So that's one thing that's really great about our system is that we honor the relationships, right? There's no way we want to ever cause any distrust that, we're trying to snake someone. That's all those other agencies out there. We always do things right, because you always reap what you sow. When you sow good seeds, man, blessings always come. And even if you sow good seeds in someone else's field, what's amazing is that the blessings come in your own. And I've personally experienced it in my life. So anyway, gang. Well, I
Hey,
appreciate.
Alex, there's a couple more questions.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, go ahead.
Ashley B, if you want to unmute and ask your question, go ahead.
Yes. So my last final question was in regards to, I know that we can purchase our own leads. Is there any type of rules or regulations in regards to having dialers where people can dial for you? Or I know that AI, you can get your AI phone dialer. So are we able to do that? I know that's something that my team has been speaking about. So just wanted to clarify that.
Yes, the answer is you can use your own dial. We have ones that we really like a lot. Like one of the ones we're using is Symbo. Symbo is really good, SYMBO, because when it dials your leads, it dials from their area code, right? So it doesn't matter where the lead is, it'll dial from their area code, which is so cool. And then somehow it knows when it's being flagged as spam, so it'll switch the number to a number that's no longer flagged as spam. So you get a lot more connection. So you can do that. The thing that we just kind of warn agents is make sure you're using data that's TCPA compliant, meaning that it's already been scrubbed against litigator databases, that these people are opt-in, if you're going to do texting for sure. But make sure they're not on the do not call list. So make sure you're working with reputable lead companies that are giving you data that's been scrubbed against the do not call list, against the litigator list. So that's what we recommend. And all our leads that we recommend to our agents are those kind of leads. So we've already done the work for, our different lead programs that we work with. Hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank
You're welcome.
The last question that I just got as a text was, are there any startup fees?
Well, I mean, if you want to pay me $100 to get you started, I'm not going to stop you from that. No, there are no
Oh
startup.
my gosh.
There are no startup fees. None, 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 none whatsoever. So, like I said, only if you want to pay, I'll take it, but I'll probably give it to my favorite charity. Anyway, no, there are no startup fees. Wow, that was pretty easy. Anybody else? Okay. Well, thanks everyone for being on here. I hope this was meaningful to you. And I hope that you can evaluate where you want to be in your life, because if this is the road you want to get on, man, there's a revolution. It's a wave, and we're riding it right now. It's incredible. So God bless everybody. Appreciate y'all. Take care. And we'll see you next week.